So we go in and we start recording the first Sugar Hill Gang record. And I had a couple of songs, one song, Funk Box, that we kind of like were already doing before we met the Sugar Hill Gang. I played that groove. They liked it. That became one of the songs. Some other things. Back then, an album would only be 20, maybe 18 to 20 minutes per side.
Yeah.
So you maybe the record would have maybe 8 songs on it or something like that. Rapper's Delight was 15 minutes all by itself.
Yeah.
So we cut the record, did that, and then she gets a call from George Clinton's. Sugar Hill Gang is playing by them, doing these discos or whatever. But now it became so massive that these calls started to come in to tour, and they get a call from George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic.
Parliament, yeah.
So at that time, Knee Deep is out. Not just knee deep, she was only knee deep when you did the freak with me. One of my favorite. I'm a massive George Clinton fan,
yeah.
so I'm like, God exists. Here we are. I'm a Funkadelic baby. After Jimmy passed, Funkadelic was the one that kind of kept the stuff going. So next thing you know, poof. We're out on the road.
With Parliament.
First gig,
George Clinton.
Nashville, October 31st, 1979. We started tour with Parliament Funkadelic. I'll never forget this. So we roll up, and this is great. So we roll up to the gig, and we had a guy over here that knew one of the guys that had a bus company, and he used to have the Rolling Stones used to use this bus.
Yeah.
It's an old. It was an old Golden Eagle bus, quite old. So we were like, we're gonna go on the road. So we got this bus. It was pretty beat up, but it was an old pimped out bus, like from the late '60s and stuff. And so we got that bus and we drive to Nashville. We get to the gig and George Clinton Parliament Funkadelic is at their height. So they got all the props and friggin' midgets and trapeze artists, and there's 19 microphones straight across the stage. It was phenomenal. We walk into the gig. Who's the first person I meet? Dennis Chambers, sitting on a drum case playing bass. I don't know who was who. I thought he was a bass player. So we hit it off instantly.
Yeah.
And then I'm a huge George Clinton fan, so I knew all the songs and everything. So next thing you know, it's funny because we get off the bus. We had no trailer. Then we open up one of the bays, pull out our little amplifier and shit. And these guys from Funkadelic look at us coming in there because they're laughing at us. They're like, who the hell is this Johnny one-song band coming out here? And they're full production. So they're up there laughing at us. They're up there loud. Look at these country boys up here like that. Until we got on stage and started playing. And we would do one intro song, go into Rapper's Delight, complete pandemonium in the stadium.
Really?
People are singing every note, every song. And all the guys from Parliament Funkadelic, they had been on the road so much, they weren't even hip to hip hop. So the first time they saw it was through us.
Yeah.
So within 24 hours, they went from laughing at us to, by the end of the gig, they were like, yo, these boys can play. So next thing you know, boom, we became tight. Bernie Worrell and Dennis and Skeet and George. George was in semi-retirement because he was doing so good. He was producing everybody. He would just do like the Capitals and stuff like that. But we ended up doing October 30 for Halloween. Started in Nashville, and we ended up around the 15th of December in Chicago. But it was my first like real tour. You know what I mean? Well, no, I've been out on the road before a little bit, but not like that.
Yeah, but big.
Not like that. So, now the Sugar Hill era is here, and here we are, nicely seated in with Sylvia Robinson. Then here comes Grandmaster Flash across from the South Bronx, and I remember the day they showed up at the studio. They took the bus over from Fort Apache in the Bronx, and I'll never forget. I can see him walking down the street right now. So we met Grandmaster Flash and Furious Five, and then. Basically, Joe Robinson had once hip hop once the Rapper's Delight got big, Joe wanted to go find more hip hop artists, more rap artists. So there was a record store in Harlem called that was owned by by a person named Bobby Robinson. No relationship to Joe Robinson, but they all knew each other. Right? So Bobby Robinson had the Crash Crew. Funky 4+1, Spoonie G, the Treacherous 3, and Grandmaster Flash. Grandmaster Flash came over first, and then we cut Freedom with them, and then Freedom became a big hit.